So tell me, well, we'll get on so we can talk about the set you were on.
Okay, I'm ready. Sorry. That's not even what I'm angry about. The set is actually really nice when I'm on.
Yeah, the set I'm on is great. It's honestly for how tired I am and everything. I think I had this conversation with people yesterday after we wrapped. We wrapped at 12 something, but then like with wrapping out and everything, it took a good hour or so, and by the time we were done, it was like 1:39. Basically, that we had 30 minutes left to go get a shot. Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow.
But we were in the middle of downtown, so it like worked out really well. Our base camp is on 7th Street, and
oh wow.
Yeah, apparently across the street, Robert Rodriguez is also shooting. So their base camp.
I heard that on this set too. That's funny.
Yeah. Their base camp is literally across the street. So like it's like their
really?
their giant base camp, and then our little tiny one like slightly further down. Yeah.
That's rad.
No, it's pretty cool. So like after we wrapped, on our way to base camp,
you got to take a peek at the set.
Niki, my second, was still on the walkie. We ran into a bar and just took a pity shot, basically, or like, oh, today was awful shot. And then she was still on, I was off walkie. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. She's like, everybody's panicking on the walkie right now. I'm here taking a shot. And we're like,
that's the way to do it.
It's
like, you know what? What can you fucking do? It's out of your control at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we start the show?
Let's start it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Get Reelisms Podcast, episode 64.
Dang, 64. That's a lot.
I am the beyond exhausted Adam Chase Rennie.
And I am also equally exhausted, Christine Chen.
Probably more so, considering you were your first ADing this shit, and also you're spending the entire month doing it, right?
Yeah,
I'm only on this shoot for 17 days, almost 20. So
that's a good sizable shoot though. 17 is pretty good. Yeah, mine is
okay.
27 days. Probably the longest project I've been on. It was funny. We got out, we wrapped, and the camera department was like, only 4 more weeks to go. It's like,
oh my god. You want to know what's funny? I had the same exact fucking situation. There was I'm not going to say who, but there was someone on set, one of the crew, who just had to fucking say, it's like, hey, Adam, it's all good. It's like, I'm literally dripping sweat. And we're working outside, and I'm working my fucking ass off.
Yeah.
And this person had to literally say, hey, Adam, chin up, buddy. It's only going to be 14 more days. And I'm just like,
no. It's funny. We complain about it and everything. And in the moment, it's utterly exhausting. But I think we all shared a moment yesterday after set being like, you know what? And we were in the bar, like, it's exhausting, but we have the best job in the world. Like, Nico, I forgot his last name, but Nico is our first AC. And he's like, I freaking love my job. And I'm like, yeah, but we're also like talking shit about it and tired.
Just exhausted.
And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I mean, there's always that, oh, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. That's I mean, you're gonna work.
That's a gray area
it's extremely gray. Like,
if you have 10 hours, I can argue that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the thing is that, like,
goddamn, this camera, I'm gonna throw it out the window. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. It keeps shutting off. I don't know why it keeps shutting off.
I don't know. Yeah, if you love your job, the other aspect is that you end up working more because you love it and
right
deal with more crap.
Absolutely.
But the set that I'm on feels pretty luxurious, compared to everything else I've done, just because I've been in the woods for the last 5 movies I've been on. And this one is like, we were on it. But then this brings a whole other set of new problems, right? So we're on a set, and we just finished week 1 or 2. We're both on a stage. So it's all built. And it's very mind-boggling. I feel like for an art person such as yourself, it would be really neat to watch.
So fun. Yeah, that's my dream. It is the exact opposite with this fucking set I'm on. Go ahead.
So this is like we had apartments, we had full-on living rooms, we had a jail, we had all in one space. And I watched it being converted live and was just mind blown, like taking out different pieces, moving the walls, and now you suddenly have a full-on visitors room, like, I don't know, it was just really neat to watch that. It's definitely a process in the film aspect that I haven't had a luxury to see, because everything I've done has been in practical locations, so this was really neat to see so many things built out on a stage. We're in our we just finished our second week. Next week we're on the third week, and it will be a practical location. So it's our first practical location, and it is downtown in Austin with a lot of windows, and it's light contingent during the winter when the sun goes down at 5:30. So
even we realize it sooner than that. It goes down at like 5:26.
5:20, yeah.
It's insane. I'm like, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's exactly it. No, it's nuts. And so our call times are all like 6 a.m. next week.
Daylight savings really put a damper on some on this set, at least. I can only assume it would for you too, considering that, the entire script that we're shooting, by the way, it's a proof of concept, which is very interesting, but it's about like 22 pages long, whatever. It's like it's like around
17 days.
I know, that's the thing. I was just as confused as you are going into this, but how it's written is very
that's feels so strange.
It feels like there's so much over simplification. Like they're like not letting just something just have some subtext, just enough for the art department to gather A, B, and C. Does that make sense?
Okay. Not really.
So like how whoever wrote this, like basically like wrote their action and wrote the dialogue and wrote how the scenes are, just doesn't, it just like, it's so exact to the point that didn't actually happen while we're on set. So there was so many changes whilst we're on set that this director, or not the director, it's a different writer, had like a different thing written in the script. So like the day of, it's like we're turning the call sheet basically into paper mache because it's worthless, because the director already has so many changes. But because we already set up for what we already have on script, sometimes it's rewritten to the point where you're introducing new shit for the art department to.
Oh no, that's a big no.
Exactly. But it's not, I'm saying
on purpose. Is that like,
no, but I'm saying it's not just my department. It's every other department too, including costume too.
Oh yeah, totally. Like, oopsies. I was going to pause real quick. Ricky was really nice. He's an actor based on Austin I worked with on Mighty Soul. He said, I love the show. Thanks for being real. You both work super hard. Thanks for being storytellers. Thanks, Ricky, for watching. We're really excited. Oh, yay.
Thank you, Connor.
I'm watching this while on set. On set, yeah. Wait, which set are you on? Are you on the, there's a few of them happening right now in Shreveport. Is it the M. Night Shyamalan one? Is that the one that you're on?
Really? He's shooting in Shreve? Wow.
I'm not shooting Shreve, but Connor on Instagram, who's plays a role. Remember Connor? He was your he was your co-actor in Ursley.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he just said that. Oh, good. It's for the M. Night. What are you doing on it, Connor?
Nice.
Are you acting in it? Yeah, he's on set apparently right now in Shreveport, which is pretty cool. Oh, Ricky's in New Orleans shooting. I was just in New Orleans, Ricky. Partied a bit too hard in New Orleans. It's hard not to, but that's cool. Are you shooting a TV show? Or Ricky's awesome as well, another very talented actor. But Ricky, what are you shooting? See if they answer in time. But yeah, with regards to what were we just talking about?
We were talking about sets that we're on that were
you never want to change.
Yeah, because I'm going through, like, there's just every single day there's just changes on the script that are just absolutely like crazy. And
have you seen this meme? It's not a meme, it's an internet. Have you seen this influencer named Amy Jolie or she's the one.
She sounds familiar.
She's the one who does all these really funny videos with her phone of all these set positions. And one of the ones that I need to show you is about script changes and how it affects trickles down to every single freaking department, and it freaks out everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't. I think that's just I think people who do that just don't understand or respect the process it takes to prepare for each of those individual departments. And
we're shooting in a public place, which is a gymnasium.
Oh God.
So there's so many changes. It's not, most of the set takes place there.
Okay.
So we're in this middle school gymnasium or elementary school gymnasium.
Okay.
And we're literally shooting during school time too. And nobody took that to consideration, that there's going to be a bunch of kids who are just going to be running around and so curious about this set. And by the way, production has it the worst. Let me tell you, art department, honestly, with all the changes that's going on, this is kind of a breeze, because this is a set from New York.
Yeah.
And the art director's from New York, and the production designers from New York, in production, cost, everybody, all the departments, except for the art assistant, me, another art assistant, and also like all the PAs and the grip in electric.
Yeah.
They're all local.
Okay.
And we're just there, and they're literally running like chickens with their heads cut off. Like, they are freaking out, while G&E, basically the Texas local crew, we're all just kind of looking at each other like, yeah, we knew this was going to happen, right? Like, why are we acting like as if this is like
this was not expected?
Yeah. And I even told the art department that too. I'm like, you guys, funny. Like, we're going to have to work around this. Like, and they're like, oh no, they're going to sanction all this. Like, we're going to have this whole space to ourselves. It's like, we're going to have a whole gymnasium to ourselves. No, I don't think that's going to really happen. There's going to be, of course, a bunch of choir kids coming in, singing, laughing, crying, and they're going to be running around trying to see our set and shit like that.
It's so funny. You're in a different scenario, but we are experiencing some similar feelings. It's that whole, like, you can see it in slow motion. Somebody is about to go and crash into a wall. You're trying to warn them about this wall. You're like giving them like some cones to use. You're giving them like, you're tethering them in the back, trying to slow them down from hitting the wall, and you're like prepping them for what's going to happen when they hit the wall.
And then kids are yelling at you too.
And they still hit the wall, despite all the things that you've tried to prepare them for to prevent them from hitting the wall.
Yeah, exactly. And then and no sense of security whatsoever too. And these kids are just like just yelling at everybody. One of them called me a fatty. It was just funny. It was, I got to the point where I was like, you know what? Listen, these are just kids. They don't know. They don't know what's happening. Yeah. And we're just there in their fucking space, and they're asking all these fucking questions. And of course, we're not going to answer them. They're kids, duh.
Right.
And And the entire set is sort of like, I'm just taking a back seat with all this, basically, because this is like the most thing I'm stressed out about really is finding a car. Like, that's what I'm most stressed out about at this moment right now. This set, honestly, like I bring my toolkit and that's it.
Yeah.
Like they don't really like the stuff they're asking me to do. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, like it's not like it's overcomplicated. It's complicated enough that it's going to take some time, of course. And then, of course, considering with all the changes, we're just kind of rolling with the punches and whatnot. But we were on a budget, so there was only so much time and so many resources that we can use,
right,
that this set just sort of couldn't really grasp on. And then, of course, we're losing daylight by the fucking minute, and it's going to be gone at 5:30. We've had 2 days already that we had to cancel set because once it hit 5:30,
you can't do anything. Oh my God, that is the worst. Like for an AD, like being in that situation, I've gotten it where it's perfectly scheduled.
The production
finally gotten the DP and the director to the perfect magic hour, and I'm seeing them argue while the sun goes down, and it breaks my heart. I'm like, that's not my fault. I got you here. You guys should have been able to shoot, and you are not utilizing this time, and the sun is going away. And I'm like, guys, the sun is going away. Guys,
you got the train to its destination. They just refuse to get off the train. Yeah,
exactly. So it's, man,
and it was sort of the same situation with us, because there's constant bickering, but it was more from the production side. The production like couldn't agree with each other for the life of them, to the point where the director got in the middle of it. You know what I mean? Like they had their own quarrels and stuff like that. I don't know what. And then there's like, it's a whole bunch of shit that is just like, what you people are super wasting time. Literally, like I'm staring at the entire set. We're all just waiting around doing absolutely fuck nothing. And
I think that's the most frustrating.
There was a fight one time on set to the point where my art director was just like, listen, if you just want to go home, you could just go home.
Oh no, really?
She was like, you know what, Adam, like we have nothing else for you to do, because the next supposed set we were gonna like flip the world to, it's gonna be, there's no changes for me to even be there in the first place, let alone even a set dresser to be there. But the set dresser was is from Houston. So he has like, he's doing his own thing. He has like his own place, I guess, around here. And he even said, he was just like, I don't understand why we're here. Like we could be going home right now. And it's true, because we just stand there literally doing nothing, to the point where even the art director was like, you know what, if you just want to go home, just go home.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, are you sure you don't need me? You know, because I'm just going to go home and look for a car.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, you can't, there's to a certain extent, there's only so much you can do, you know. You try to help people help themselves, but like,
and we were supposed to shoot today and they canceled today too, which is hilarious.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Oh.
I'm not mad about it, but I know I'm not going to get much out of it, even though like if I worked on a set like with you, Christine, I probably would have gotten a lot more out of it. Considering I would be a PA position, sure, but I'm technically a PA position anyways on this set.
Yeah.
So, even though I'm just art assistant, it's different. You're right. Sorry.
At a certain point, there's days when I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind just being in a crew, like just a crew, not a department head position, just a crew position, because there is a level of stress. That goes away. It's
nice.
Right? You don't have to deal with it. When shit hits the fan, you're like, just tell me what to do. I don't have to deal with the logistics of what's happening right now. I just listen to what you want me to do. And that's nice.
It is.
Yeah, like
I know. Like, and that's why I'm saying, like, I know it's different for you because you have a completely different beast of in of itself. I'm, ladies and gentlemen, am nowhere even close to the kind of position that Christine is in, just in terms of like how where I stand in the crew position, because I'm just literally following, while Christine's literally has to lead the set at all times. You know, it's exhausting.
Though. Like I love it, but then there's days when I'm really like, you know what?
You're fantastic at it too.
Like, Niki, why don't you just take over for the next like scene or two? Like, I'm cool. I'm good for today. Like, let me just go chill, you know. But then like I'll be in the honey wagon, like 10-1ing, and I'll be listening on the radio, being like, why is nothing happening right now? What? Yeah. Oh no. And I come right back being like, all right, gotta move the set. It's just like, it's weird. It's the part of me that like wants to just sit back and just chill, but then there's this much bigger part of me that can't sit still and let something
get out of control
to the ground. Yeah. It's weird. Like,
no, I hear you, because
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you can't get through your day.
Yeah.
You can't get through the day, and you're not doing the job that you're supposed to do. But how dare you 10-1 for 5 fucking seconds?
Oh, I have a really funny, I wanted to do the skit
for the set to burn down to the ground without you.
Okay, Carly and I want to do the skit, and we're going to figure out when we're going to do it. So this happened on set. I went to 10-1, and while I was there, I realized that Carly was literally in the stall next to me. And we started talking about the schedule. Like, while we were in the honey wagon peeing. And it was like, all right, so should we bring in this actor an hour ahead with the pre-call? Like, no, because this. Okay, cool. How about this? Let me figure out.
By the way, I'm so sorry, Carly. I didn't know Christine was gonna out you like this.
We had a meeting in the honey wagon. Like, isn't that like that visually is so comedic? It's not.
It is funny though. It is really funny.
I want to do a skit.
I gotta say, that's hilarious. You guys have to.
All right, let's go to our meeting, and then cut to exterior of a honey wagon, and you just hear two people talking and discussing.
Yeah, you just see the feet. Yeah. Like, just, you know, and then and that's it. You just
this was not planned though, like whatsoever. No. Not planned at all. I was having terrible reception, so I wasn't able to hit. So it just worked out great that our meeting happened inside the honey wagon. She got what she needed, while I had the time and to take a breath of air. You know, that's something I learned from working on a stage, is my mood shifts so much because I'm literally in a box and I don't see daylight. And I don't see daylight at all unless I go pee, because I'm on a stage inside, deep in the center of the set.
Yeah.
And I like cannot move from that set.
No, you can't leave
unless I like have Niki or somebody sub in just to use a restroom. Those are the only times.
That starts to feel claustrophobic for sure.
Yeah, those are literally that's how sucky it is. Like, I literally only see daytime when I go and pee. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And I didn't realize, you realize how much being near and out and about or around sunshine can affect somebody's mood and mental health when you're in that situation. You know, I can feel myself get crankier and crankier, you know, just because I'm on the set with artificial lighting, you know, in the middle in a box, you know. So I don't know if I just haven't experienced it to this extent, because usually we're on location and you're out and about, you know,
practical sets.
Practicals. We were in the woods. We were outside the whole day. We're like, too much nature, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's too much nature, too many mosquitoes. But
can you cut some of the leaves, please?
But I'm
minus the mosquitoes.
I'm literally in the opposite situation. I'm like, I have not seen the sun in a whole week. Yeah. So
that can get daunting. I mean, you hear folks working in a soundstage is a psychological prison. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not. To all the studio people, I'm kidding.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, I know it's not that bad. It's just I'm making jokes.
I mean, there's just pros and cons. There's just nothing perfect. Yeah. You're outside and you're bitten by mosquitoes and it's cold or hot and you're really affected by the weather. You're on stage. You have no concept of weather or time or anything, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just a simple communication of like me being in the box on the stage and like where Video Village is and trying to be like, okay, does the director want to move on? And then like, I'm like, Niki's like asking, and then it's like, you know how impatient I am. So it's like 10 seconds pass and there's like silence on the radio. I'm like, so,
anybody?
What is it? Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's just, I don't know. It's a funny, weird feeling, just to say the least. But I wanted to show you. Did you see my shirt?
I did. I was going to say something. Respect my authority, please, and thank you. I love it.
It's new. I designed it. It's pretty cool because people think that this part is like real tape. It does. It looks like it, huh?
It looks like it, and also that's the nicest way to make a T-shirt. It's not like, is that printed? Is that printed?
It's printed. Yeah, it's printed.
Oh, it is. Oh, It looks like it. It looks like it's threaded through. That looks really good.
It's
like
cool,
the quality looks really good.
Yeah, I'm very happy with how it turned out. So
that's
we're
cool.
adding it to our collection of Get Reelisms stuff. So that came in, and there's some other stuff that
get your T-shirts to getreelisms.com, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Today, we're doing an ad midway through the episode. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But no.
Well, I mean, listen, like I wish I can relate to you more, but like it literally was just me. It is just me and the set dresser just sitting on an Apple box, just staring at everybody, basically freaking out.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I experienced that last night when I took off my walkie after we wrapped and went to the bar, and Niki's the one with the walkie on, and she's like, everybody's panicking right now, and I don't care because I'm just here at the bar. And I was like, man, that feels great. Like, I feel like that's what it feels like when you don't have to be in a position of like,
it's crazy
as a head. It's like, all right, well, shit's going to hell. Like, there's nothing I can do,
I just literally wait for the art director to just come to me. She's a very sweet lady. She comes to all of us, and like everybody's yelling at each other, like, all right, the fucking shit. And then the art director comes through and is like, hey, Keith and Adam, so we're gonna go ahead and flip the world now. And Adam, if you want to pack up everything, and then we're gonna get out of here. It's just like, I feel bad because she's getting the brunt of it too. Yep. So she's probably feeling it. And also the production designer is MIA 95% of the time. I don't know why.
Well, but, that's actually pretty common on major sets. They come in and like, because they are on an opposite schedule because they are probably building it or whatever. But
he's from New York. So like, where are you going? Like, we're off of 969 in Del Valle. Where are you? And he just leaves. Like he's gone. Yeah. And apparently they have like an Airbnb that's close. So I guess he just goes home and he just chills. I don't know. So
I don't know. That's pretty.
I don't ask
common
questions
on most big sets I'm on the production side of there. Yeah.
Yeah, I just learned to I just learned to stop asking questions. Like when you get to the point of a set, like in the first 2 days, I was getting nervous. I was like, is everything okay? What was happening? Are we doing a lot of changes? And I realized that the art department is on a completely different speed. And then I started looking around and realizing like, oh yeah, okay. So none of this is out of my control because like all these changes happen. And we roll through them, but it's nowhere near as fucked up as it is for like hair and makeup. Like hair and makeup, I feel bad for because they're the ones who are also like getting the shit end of the stick, and they're just there and redoing everything, doing it again, then looking back at continuity to then match that, but then they don't got the right continuity photo. It's just like it becomes wild,
Yeah, I've learned that. You kind of, to really manage the stress that happens on set, because there's a lot of it, you really just need to let the stuff that you have no control over go.
You have to. Yeah.
Only stress about the things you can control, like the quality of your work or whatnot, but which I understand is effective when things like this happen. But you can't, if you let all that stuff get to you, like you won't last very long. That day,
no. And I just still remain, I mean, how dumb, silly golden retriever boy I am on a film set. I just keep a positive attitude. I'm just like, hey guys, what's going on? I just have to maintain like some sort of level of this like consistency where I too am not getting all pissed off and all, you know. Even some of the Texas local crew were getting all like mad on the set, and it's just like, hey, guys, we're local. Like, it doesn't really, at the end of the day, doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying that the work that we're putting in doesn't mean anything, but I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, all of us getting all angry and batshit crazy over something that is literally out of our control. It's coming from production and also the producers and also the director and also the DP. So what we have nothing to do with that. That's on them, you know. But a lot of the PAs, they're just really upset. Like, there was this one PA who I gave my book to him. I gave my Get Reelisms book to him. Because he this was a kid who was just like, he's brand spanking new. He was found somewhere like at a hardware store. He's a great kid. I love him to death, but like he was even struggling himself, you know. So I let him borrow the Get Reelisms book. He's going to give back to me. He better be.
Well, let him know if he wants it. He can.
I wish I had another copy, but I would have sold it. But you know,
well, I just tell him, and then like you can tell him to go online, or we can make sure that you have some too with you. So that if you want to, no, for sure. But it was me literally like helping like some of the crew out, just be like, hey, you guys understand, like, you know, a lot of the time this is out of your control. I don't want you guys to freak out, because I was like that too, especially on several different other sets too. You know, recently, you know, so I know how it feels to when something gets out of your control and you don't hear anything on the walkie, and you're just 10-1 for like 5 fucking seconds. And you're like, oh, the set is crumbling right now. And there's no one on walkie. Unless everybody's walkie just died simultaneously, I think everybody's killing each other. The set is crumbling right now. That's funny.
And you know how it is. You know, you're working through it right now as we speak. So yeah, I can only imagine how, and you're not even close to being done. So I'm sorry, Christine, I didn't mean to do that.
When the camera department was like, well, that was great, only 4 more weeks to go, I was like, oh,
you want to like just smash your head.
I was like, only 4 more weeks. I cannot believe it's 4 more weeks, but it's been passing quickly. Honestly, the days are a blur, because you know you're working down to the wire for everything. So it's been fine. It's just every set has its stresses, and that's just the reality of film. I don't think there's ever going to be a set where it's like, hey, unless it's a commercial, where it's going to be like, this is so easy and great. No, there's always going to be logistics, because the thing is, with any project, any film, it's all about people, and people make mistakes, and people don't account for things, and that's where shit happens.
Especially if you let it get the best of you too. Right. Because if you go in without any preparation, like they always make that like the meme, I guess it's a meme, but people say it too. There's no such thing as post, fix it, and pre. You know, just like, hey, can you guys just work out your problems now? And of course, Mother Nature is a motherfucker. We all know that. So changes do happen. Shit happens, especially with daylight savings, when you got your daylight time shaved by like 4 or 5 hours, precious hours that you can use. You know, you have to work around that. But aside from that, you still have to have some level of awareness in some level of like getting ahead of the ball, right? At some point, like you kind of have to get ahead of its curve before it comes back at you like a boomerang, you know? So I don't know. I guess where I'm going with this is it's like, I feel like preparation is everything, but people don't take preparation as seriously as I guess you do. or we do.
Well, I think the thing is that it's easy for human nature to be like, okay, if I ignore it, it'll just solve itself, which is literally the worst thing you can think of.
Exactly.
And so I feel like that's what most people's defense mechanisms is, like, I'm so overwhelmed, therefore I'm just not
see no evil, hear no evil.
Yeah, exactly. So that everything's fine. And I find that most problems start because of that.
Yeah.
Or they're like, oh, it's going to be fine. I tend to be someone who knows that I prepare for everything because I know I have to. That's my job, is to see the worst in everything. I will go, okay, down to the T. I'll look at what we ate for lunch. I'll be like, okay, it's a lot of carbs. Okay, well, let's tack on 30 more minutes after lunch for things to start moving.
Digest. Yeah. Before we pull hammies. Yeah. Really see, slow, you're thinking ahead. That's crazy. Yeah.
So, but it's my nature to be a planner. I've just always been a planner type person. I feel like I'm very planning oriented, but I have a good balance of like, okay, if shit hits the fan or like there's things beyond my control, I can go with the flow, because you have to do that too. Because you can't. I think what makes a good AD or a good AD team is the ability to try to account for the issues that are or may arise on a film set, yet not be so boxed into this plan that when things change, they're not able to pivot. You know what I'm saying? And that's not just the AD team, that's just all departments. I think any department head, that is what makes them a good department head.
Right. And we talked about this, 2 weeks ago, about how it's very similar to reading music and shit like that. There's got to be a fine balance of reading ahead and also pinning exactly the notes that you're trying to hit.
Yeah. Thinking
while
ahead,
simultaneously thinking ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Thinking ahead, but being able to pivot.
Be within the moment. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's the being able to plan, but still be able to experience within the moment and adapt within the moment. And I think that's with every position, especially if you're a department head, a key factor to succeeding is that. And that comes with, I believe, experience. It's not just a lot of it is definitely personality, for sure. Some people are just better at that. But I think when you've gone through enough films and been like, okay, I've seen a hurricane and a snowstorm and rain and all these things come through your set, you've learned to let those things go.
Yeah.
Because you'll drive yourself insane if you don't, And so it's with those, or like, people are going to be late, on certain days, or, and so you can't let it get to you. You just you pivot from that, and you plan for the worst and you adapt. So,
and also remember, you mentioned that everything trickles down too.
Mm-hmm.
So if your attitude is going to be of just something that is just going to be toxic to the overall environment, you're going to bring everybody down. You're going to bring everybody down with you. If you're having a bad day, well, guess what? Your crew's going to have a bad day too if you keep this up. It's everything trickles down. So you have to understand what kind of example you yourself want to see, but also knowing and understanding that with the problems that do arise, it is up to you on how you're going to react to it.
Right. Right.
And that goes the same, even if you're not in the film industry, for any of those who are listening, who are not part of the film industry, if you're part of the restaurant industry or the retail industry, and you're behind managerial or you are managerial staff, you know exactly that you have to understand when and exactly know how to pivot. It's a very tricky situation, but if you can get that balance on a film set, that's all the more power to you. If you can find that balance and be in the moment while adapting around the changes that do happen, because I hate to say it, even you can be on the best fucking set in the world, changes happen. You know, it's kind of inevitable, just like Thanos.
Right.
You know, it's true.
It is. Yeah.
I never been on a set, even on great sets that you know, there
that
hasn't been, oh, we're going to do this instead. And then a department is like, what, you know?
Yeah. Every set has changes. And I think that's also the beauty of filmmaking, is that every set is, it's an overused term, but it is organic, right?
Very.
It's a living and breathing thing. And you're lucky if your final product is 70% what you had originally written and planned for, envisioned in your film initially with the script. And it's because there are so many factors that either that hopefully improve your film, but that you have to adapt to, that happen throughout the filming process and the post-production process, and really every single process, you know? So it's like, film people, we're weird. Like, I think the majority of the world has trouble adapting to that uncertainty. I think uncertainty is very scary to people. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, when the pandemic hit, I think a lot of people were very afraid, because who knows what's going to happen? You know, it's so open-ended, but uncertainty is scary. I think the people who are able to do well in the film industry are okay with that. It might stress it definitely. I wouldn't say that you won't be stressed out by it.
Oh, I'm stressed out by it.
Yeah, but to an extent we thrive on it too.
Yeah.
You know, our creativity is spiked and sometimes is stimulated by that uncertainty.
You
know, I've heard that there are directors sometimes that, like, on purposely give themselves these little, it's like thinking creatively within a box. So giving yourself, because having limitations versus not having any limitations yields yet another factor of creativity, right? You can have no limitations to the point where your creativity has no bounds, and therefore nothing happens, right? Because you're always trying to, but there is something with, like, okay, I only have 2 locations and this amount of money. How do I work within those bounds? And there is that problem solving aspect yields a certain kind of creativity that you can't get in another situation,
Absolutely.
Because you're forced to think that way. That's why I think we were talking about why, like, Clerks and some of these low budget films are so fascinating to watch, because I think there's that unique factor is that, like, you can tell that there's something different about it, because they probably were forced to think in a different way because they didn't have the resources to, do it or film it in the way that they would have liked to. They had a larger budget, I look back at, and I'm going to bring it back to Ursley, because since this is technically Ursley.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to say too that, like, what you just said, like, have you heard of the David Lynch quote? He said that uncertainty breeds creativity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it does.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that you just literally are the living embodiment of that quote. I'm just
and it is, because I see it, like, Ursley. I look back at, like, the script that I started with, what I have now, and there are so many things in there that I problem solved my way out of, and it is better. I could have just shut down and been like, well, I just don't have enough money, I can't make this, or like, exactly. well, it's just like whatever, because I got lots of pushback on stuff too, right? But it's funny, because the distribution company folks came back and they're like, this is great, we're sorry that in the beginning we might have given you super tough feedback and it might have seemed like we hated it and stuff. They're like, we're just trying to give you, like, cut and dry stuff that the world is going to give you, because they don't care what you went through to make your film. They literally don't care what the budget of your film is, or they don't care about any of that. They just want to have a good film, and I'm like, no, I appreciate that.
Right.
Because that's a reality check. And I was able to work through the things that they had an issue with creatively. Although there were definitely days when I'm like, I don't know how to get myself out of this hole for certain things, you know? So like the intro of the film, for example, we added some scenes that I personally shot on my own time later on that we didn't have budget to rent any kind of camera, like we shot the whole film with the Red Gemini, but we were only able to use the GH5 Panasonic for some of these shots. And yes, because of the way it's shot, to a discerning eye, it's obvious that it is lower in quality, right? And the distributors hated that intro because of that. They're like, because they had a very valid point. Somebody might watch it and discount it before they even get through to the other parts, right? Because they're like, oh, it's low budget, whatever. You know, I'm going to turn it off. So I used it in my favor. So I leaned into what could be like lo-fi, and I made it look like it was shot on Super 8.
Right.
For the intro.
Yeah. So it kind of,
yes. So
I see
now,
what you're saying. Yeah.
It's no longer low budget. Now it's
right.
a choice. It's a choice, and it's an artistic choice. And it looks like I meant to
present it in the best possible way.
Yes, yeah. It looks like I meant to have it be a little bit shaky. It looks like it is a little bit more lo-fi than the rest of it. It looks like a stylistic choice. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I guess I'm using this example to show where pivoting and thinking outside the box and how your limitations breeds creativity. If I had all the resources in the world, I don't think that intro would have been what it is. I would have, gotten a follow vehicle. I would have rented I would have brought my DP from New York. I would have shot it in a completely different way, had a drone, whatever, and it will look like a completely different movie. That's not necessarily better or worse or whatever. I'm just saying that because of what I was given at the time and the resources I have, it reflects in the creative direction that I decided to go in, So I don't know, it's fun. And that's the stuff that I find fascinating when I am able to listen to like directors talk about their process and what they went through. And like, did you know Beast in the Southern Wild, for example? Have you seen that film?
I have. Love it.
Okay.
Love that movie.
So the boat that they have, the reason why they have it is because the director, I think it's the director of the DP, truck broke down and was completely unusable, basically. So they decided to cut the bed of the truck and make it into a boat.
What? Really?
Yeah. So that's the director's boat. Yeah.
And it works phenomenally.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Film. Yeah. But like, if they had all the resources in the world, they could have maybe bought a boat, but it wouldn't have had that kind of character. No. That like makeshift, low, grungy, like we are using what we have. And I don't know, it added to the film, honestly. So it's just, so it's just little things like that. I love learning that process. And so I don't know, it's interesting because like, obviously my hope is as I am doing more and more films, the budgets will get larger and stuff. But the film I'm working on is like a 2.8 mil, which is still considered small budget. And I'm looking at it and I'm comparing it to what I did with 150,000, and the process is it's not different at all. The problems are not different. In fact, when you have more money, you have a whole set of new different problems you don't even know about,
Feels like it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know, it'll be interesting to see the kinds of films and how they change when the budget level, I love these little indie films. They suck when you're making them and they're very frustrating. And like, it's nice when you have a catering car to feed the crew and like it's comfortable and you're on a stage and there's no mosquitoes biting you. And like, if something goes wrong, you can technically throw money at it ish, to fix it. But like, there is something to be said about working within your means and the creative aspect that comes out of it. So I don't know. I just went on a long diatribe about that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful diatribe. I mean, just working with the limitations, and again, in the wake of uncertainty, it has to come with creativity.
Yeah.
You kind of it breeds it. So in order to have a successful film, I feel like you sort of have to have a little bit of column A and column B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to have a little bit of that. And people are like, oh, it's just a little bit of magic. It's a little bit of luck. It's just like, yeah, but also you're making a good movie.
Yeah.
You have a story with it. Now, the problems you face with telling that story is part of the journey. It's kind of part of the craft of the film.
Yeah.
At least for me, and I understand people are not going to really read that, with the general audience, not like film nerds like you and I, but there's still a certain level of respect just for making a good story to the general audience. And that's what we need at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At least for me, I just want to make sure that I'm just making a good thing. And I keep trying to remind myself that, but also my standards of what should be a good movie are different sometimes. And I need to have some sort of reality check, especially when I'm writing my own stuff, to know that, Adam, don't overthink this shit. Just do what you got to do. And when you come to that moment of what the fuck do I do? Just know you're going to work around it. You're going to adapt, and you're going to find a way. You always find a way. It's the Jedi way. You always find your way through the Force, no matter what. The Force is around us and surround us and penetrates us. Christine.
The thing is, like, once we get onto bigger sets, we're gonna start like wishing that we were back on lower budget sets too. I mean, like, being on a bigger budget.
You think so?
Film, yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. My friend knows me very well. He's like, you know what? When you get your 2.4 million or whatever, you're going to be trying to make a 15 million film. So you're going to have literally the same problems. And I'm like, fuck you, Darren. You're right.
Yeah. you're just going to face those kind of problems.
Yeah. You're just going to one day. The day I get to crash a plane into a building, practically, I will be very happy about that.
Yeah, I mean,
we will have made it then, and I want to look at you and be like, look, remember when I threw 5 girls into a swamp
with the rest of the crew?
with the rest of the crew at night, where there's alligators and snakes and stuff. We thought that was a really good idea, didn't we?
Yeah.
Dot.
Yeah. At least that kind of stuff that we shot in the pool,
Yeah. Oh, good news. The distributors like the film, so we're trying to get a.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. They're now wanting to release it in February, which is cool. But they're also texting me while I'm on set with 50 people talking to me, being like, "Can we have these deliverables?" I'm like, "I am on set." My friend,
I'm working right now, dude.
Yeah, I'm literally working right now, and they're like, "Well, like it needs to be due today." I'm like, I am on a set in a box. I don't have much reception. I cannot open this Google Doc you're trying to give me. I'm like, the best I can do is text me, and I will try to text you back some answers and stuff like that. But it's always hurry up and wait. Right now they want everything. That's what I'm doing today, is cutting a trailer for Ursley, which is very exciting.
That is exciting. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So.
Oh my God. I always thought, like, my dream is creating my first trailer. That's another thing that I'm excited about. So for you to do that, that's exciting just to hear that. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. So I'm here cutting a trailer. I'll have to test it on you and see if it's fun. I like cutting trailers. Trailers are fun.
The trailers are fun. I love a good trailer. I still reference the Dark Knight trailer. No, Dark Knight Rises trailer.
I'll have to look at
third
that
one.
Okay, give me some. I guess we'll end on this note, but give me your favorite trailers. If you see the Dark Knight trailer.
Well, that's the most recent one that I really well.
Yeah. Hey, people listening, tell me what your favorite film trailers are. So
chime in, everybody,
so that I can go and look for them and reference them. I would like to know.
Dark Knight Rises trailer. Okay, Dark Knight trailer is not bad either.
Okay. I need to know the best film trailers that you guys like. I have a fantastical thriller film, and I need to make it very exciting. See, I actually think what I have right now cut is pretty decent.
I'm trying to think. Not a long time ago, but the Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino double feature, the Grindhouse films, they had a trailer for that, and that trailer is just ridiculous fun.
Okay.
It's like the old school, like when you go into the drive-in movie theater and you see all the ads that play, it's basically like one of those like hokey ads with like the deep voiceover, exactly like in 1975, there was a car that's death proof. It's like one of those trailers. So it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, but you learn a little bit from it. Not saying that you're going to copy a voiceover fucking actor to do. It's too fucking cheesy.
Voiceover trailers.
I don't know.
That was like such a big thing in the 90s, but I don't like
it. Was the biggest thing in the 90s, and I was going to say. I was going to say, if you want to go down an awesome, my favorite trailers off the top of my head from Kirk is Thor Ragnarok. Ragnarok was great. That trailer with Immigrant Song. It's like just Immigrant Song playing in the background. Dark Knight's great. Inception, It Chapter 1, and Infinity War. Infinity War, I will say, because it just hypes. It's like the right amount of hype. But It Chapter 1's not bad.
Thank you so much, Kurt. This is great. Dark Knight trailer.
Not bad. Kurt.
That's good. Yeah. Nolan's trailers tend to be pretty good. Yeah, I wonder who cuts them. Oh, okay. Another conversation in itself. But when I interned at 20th Century Fox, this was back in the day when Planet of the Apes was coming out. And I got to sit in
Mark Wahlberg,
the first one, and I got to go to the studio where they were cutting the trailer, the sizzle, and that was awesome. It was a female editor, and I got to sit there, and she even asked for my opinion. So the Planet of the Apes trailer is probably awesome because I gave my opinion. I'm totally just kidding. But totally no, I totally got to sit there and be like, oh no, I think they should cut a little bit. Like that was rad. A goal of mine is to cut a trailer. I like the second and third Planet of the Apes trailer from the newer ones. Okay. Well, you just said that that means my opinion was not very.
It's irrelevant.
First is irrelevant. Just kidding. It's fine. But I think separate.
No, I think you're right though. I think it's been a minute since I've seen that trailer. Now that's not the Mark Wahlberg version, right? That's the
I don't remember. It was the first one, and I just remember being mind blown because like they had a premiere in a few days and they were still rendering apes. Like I was watching the screen and there were like little like formations of where the apes would be. And I'm like, the screening is in 2 days.
Yeah, they're not.
What the F? Yeah. So I think people come in. I think filmmakers, maybe not like regular people. I don't think regular people have any clue.
I think I know which ones
process goes. Yeah. But I think film people think, oh, if you have a big budget, that means like your shit is done like ahead of time and it's like smooth sailing. No, it's the same as us. Same thing with low budget. Like this giant multi-million-dollar film has this a public, like it's coming out in 2 days and it is literally still being rendered. And I am experiencing this live, like be like, holy shit, there are apes that are not there. And I'm watching this right now. And how is it possible that they're about to release this in 2 days? It's always down to the wire. That's what's great, is that it's always down to the wire.
There's always those last minute changes. Yeah.
Was Trailers from Hell like good trailers or like shitty trailers? Because the name sounds like shitty trailers.
Give me 1 second, Christine. I'll be right back. Just one second.
Okay. It's Tom, is trailersfromhell.com, is that like good trailers, or is that the name is really deceiving? It sounds like shitty trailers. But no, I do not know about it. So I'm totally gonna go and check that out. So what's your favorite trailer, Tom? I'm excited to do research. I love researching trailers. There's an art to trailer cutting.
All right, sorry, my Amazon package came in.
And, ooh, what'd you get? Ooh, Trailers from Hell.
No, it's just an HDMI cord. Nothing good. It's to connect my computer to my TV. Doesn't matter. Anyways, so we were talking about movie trailers.
Trailer. Here they have 3, but I heard the second isn't finished and why it's delayed. No Way Home trailer. I have not. Well, let me look that up too. No Way Home.
Wait, the Spider-Man trailer? Really? Yeah, I think you're talking about the Spider-Man trailer, right?
Sadly, I haven't seen a movie in a very long time, so I'm like,
yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of these Marvel films, so I'm also, but I don't.
No Way Home. I'm putting it down so I can take a look.
Yeah,
we haven't discussed that, so I
No Way Home is the second one, right?
I had no clue that Hen isn't.
That's the second. That's the second Spider-Man movie, I think.
But yeah, delays happen all the time, and big sets. It happens all the time.
Oh no, that is the third. Wait, so you've seen the trailer for the third? Sorry, I don't mean to derail it. I got all excited for a second. I'm like, there's a Spider-Man 3 trailer? What? I'm just
we are supposed to get the second one in 2 weeks, but the delay it wasn't finished. Spider-Man. Only the first has been released. No Way Home is the third.
Right. No Way Home is the right. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Because I mean, if there is a new one, I gotta be on top of that for sure. Mm-hmm. I can talk Marvel all day, but we're not a Marvel podcast.
No, we are not.
So movie trailer. I'm trying to rack my head around other movie trailers that I'm like, what was a fantastic movie trailer that got me hyped for a film? And I can't.
Hi, Sharon. I'm excited to see this Trailers from Hell site.
Really cool. You know what trailer? It's just a funny trailer. It's just a funny trailer. Is Shaun of the Dead, and it's one of my favorite Edgar Wright films. Next to Hot Fuzz, but the Shaun of the Dead trailer. It's a zombie film. That's sort of like a rendition of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Nice. But yeah, it's that trailer is just silly fun, and there's like
cool.
There's like music.
I'm putting that in my list. Shannon, Sharon, we're talking about trailers, good trailers. Do you know what are your favorite trailers? Oh, hi, Krishna. Sharon's also a very, very talented director as well. She's doing
nice. Welcome.
Yes. No, I'm on the site right now, Tom, and it looks awesome. You should go check it out too, Adam. Like I'm a fan of the posters that they have on
Trailers from Hell, right?
Trailers from Hell, yeah. Yeah, there's some cool stuff on here.
Yeah, I think I've seen the YouTube channel.
The Social Network trailer. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I agree. That
was a good trailer.
That's what Social Network is.
Oh, and you want to know something? That trailer, what they did was they used like the dialogue, but just very ambiguous dialogue that they just like chopped up and just put as a voiceover for the film to explain whatever the fuck in the background. Has no context whatsoever, or maybe it did have context. Not sure, but that's a good trailer. That's good.
Yeah, I don't remember the Where the Wild Things Are trailer, but
Iron Man 3. Yes. It's another use of the cut up dialogue over that's
more the direction of what I'm doing. I'm doing the cut up dialogue from the scene and then going in with different visuals over it.
Oh, so. Cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or some people do like a mixture of like put a song over it too, like a good, like, to match the mood of the atmosphere.
No, we definitely have that. I started cutting it and like feeling out like the pace and stuff, and I already know that I'm going to have to add about 10 seconds to the original trailer song that was written, like that leads up to it, and then the trailer song, and then like a little bleed towards the end. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
fuck it.
Yes. Trailers. Oh shit. We probably should take it to Chris. That was a good conversation, guys.
That was a fantastic conversation.
Yeah, thanks for
anybody.
Joaquin Phoenix movie has a monologue over the trailer. Oh, I don't know. What's the new Joaquin Phoenix?
Oh, movie? It's a Mike Mills film, the new one. Oh fuck. And it looks like I'm gonna cry with that movie. I'm excited.
Or you prefer going to movie cool, so you're surprised. You know what? I am mixed about that.
I'm mixed too.
I feel like I watch trailers not because I want to watch those films, but I watch trailers for the art of that trailer.
Right.
And it's a bonus if the films are great as well, but I don't need to watch a trailer to be hyped about a film. However, I have definitely watched a trailer and been like, oh, I need to watch that film. You know what I'm saying? So trailers to me come unexpectedly. I'm watching a film, and then I do love getting to a movie theater very early to watch the trailers, not because I'm like, oh, I want to know what's coming, but more so like I would just want to see trailers because trailers are cool.
I know.
So I just think there's a beautiful art to cutting a trailer, and it's fun to watch that. So
yeah, because there's some trailers too that just give away the plot super duper easily. Hi, Becca. And sometimes those trailers really are just like an absolute just moronic way of going about it. Like you have to leave the film ambiguous as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't leave any sort of like, okay, well here's A, B, and C, on the trailer. Yeah. So now you just watched a minute and a half version of your film.
Yeah.
And you don't need to see the rest of the film anymore. What? Excuse me?
It was saying just hate when they put the whole plot line in the trailer. Yeah.
You want to know a fantastic trailer that did that? And it made me so mad. I love the film. The film's great, but End of Watch has done that. Have you heard of this film? Has Jake Gyllenhaal and it has Michael Pena, and they're both cops, and it's shot like through body cams, I guess. Like it's this very weird cinematography with it. It's not weird. It's good. It's a good plot, but they gave it all away in that trailer. Like everything was given away. Like every piece of the plot through line, everything was just given away.
Yeah.
So it's like every frame was just a new piece of information that now you don't really have to see the rest of the film for. Yeah. I still watch the rest of the film. And it's not a bad movie, but the trailer, how he got it was just like, wait, why did you guys cut the entire fucking movie in less than 2 minutes? Why would you do an idiotic thing like that?
It's like what's his face? There's a quote that's like about suspense, and it's everything leading up to it. It's not about the actual act itself. It's like all the stuff building up to it.
Yes.
Fun.
Yes.
So when that happens, doesn't mean they didn't have much work with or a lack of creativity or something else.
It could be anything. It could be both.
It could be anything. Yeah, because the thing is, like trailers, a lot of times aren't cut by the same people who cut the film. It's almost they hire out like a separate trailer company to cut it, and like experience it firsthand with Planet of the Apes.
But that's not to say that there aren't directors who control the trailer too.
I've cut all my trailers.
Christina's,
Yeah. So it's that one's hard to say. I think a lot of that has to do with input, because it's input with the distribution company. So the distribution company has a lot to say with how they think they need to market to the audience that they're going to market the film to. And they're going to be the ones caring about the marketing content and being very specific about what they want in the trailer. So like, I already can anticipate that whatever trailer I cut may or may not be the final one, because I'm sure the distribution company is going to be like, well, we like this, but like, we don't want this or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. So like, I have a very specific instructions that I'm not allowed to release imagery, and like, I have to be very limited with the images and clips or of any form,
which is understandable.
Yeah. So it's weird, because like, I haven't really had to think that much about that, you know, so that to think that I have something that has more value because of the anticipation for it.
Right. But I feel like in the 9 million things that you're thinking about in terms of like logistics and everything A to Z about Ursula, maybe you did have that thought at one point, but there's just at one point where you just kind of put that on the shelf.
On the back burner.
Exactly. Like, you just put that thought on a shelf, and then you're going to work on the shit that's literally right in front of you. And then you sort of forget that thing's on the shelf, your other thought, and you're like, well, the trailer thing was there, but I'm really tired. I'm really exhausted. I don't know if I want to think about it right now.
I'm telling you, working your full-time film gig and then coming back and trying to finish your own film is utterly
insane. I'm already like exhausting, struggling just writing, and I don't even have much going on this set to begin with, which is hilarious that, you know, I brought up Burns, my buddy. He basically just kind of lit a fire under my ass and just was just like, yeah, man, you gotta get it done at some point, you know, and you keep letting it go, and at some point it's going to come back at you. And with all these changes going on and, you know, all the cancellations, you just sort of have to pivot and understand what you can control. And what I can control is this, for sure.
And also I think there's a thing where when you're getting too close to the end, it's like the universe is conspiring against you to see if you really want it, you know, like all this shit seems to happen right before you succeed. It's really weird how that works. But it's also with like, at the point when I was the most frustrated with Ursula, when I felt like, okay, it's not going to happen, or like everything sucks with what I edited, taking just a slight step back and then coming at it like a day or a few days later after it, immediately it was fine after that. Like, it's just like there's just seems to be this build to this like pinnacle make or break, you know,
because you learned how to work with it.
So or you realize, you reevaluate, and you're like, it's worth
that too.
Pain. It's worth the pain, and I'm going to just go. If I'm going to commit, I'm going to commit to it, you know. So I think it's just judgment. It's a time of judgment. There will always be, throughout the process of filmmaking, Judgment Day. Multiple points of that.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Good. That's another good movie trailer too.
Ooh, putting it down. All right.
I think that. I mean, I'm running out of gas with this podcast, and I think we've done like an hour and a half.
Yeah, today was long because we had some good
My goodness.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Kirk, Daniel, Tom. Yeah, Sharon.
Thank you, guys.
Sharon. Thanks, guys, for
Thank you for saying hi.
Yes, so we appreciate it, and hopefully it's fun and interesting, and we yield some sort of introspection that can be helpful in your journey in filmmaking as well.
Absolutely. And we don't hate filmmaking, even though sometimes we fire off complaints. We love it. We absolutely love it. It's just, there's some predicaments that we are put in that we don't necessarily like. So, or sometimes we need some sort of channel to put that out there. And this podcast does that for us. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Kirk. Thank you, everybody. You keep slaying, Daniel.
Yeah, you guys keep slaying. Crush.
For that, That has been the Get Reelisms podcast. GetReelisms.com for your book, ladies and gentlemen. Get it today.
Yeah, new t-shirt. Get one of these.
Get your t-shirt.
Respect my authority, please.
That's a key indicator. All right, guys. Yeah. So GetReelisms.com, UrsleyFilm.com for your previous podcast episodes, for your previous podcast needs. You'll find us on Spotify, YouTube, right?
Yes. Spotify, YouTube, pretty much all the podcasts.
All where you get your podcasting stuff, it's going to be there. Yeah. I think that's it, Christine. That's okay.
No, that's it.
Then you know what?
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
Enjoy your weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Have fun. Stay safe. And keep on keeping on.
Yeah.